Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet and of YouTube, and welcome back to Ringlight Fables. Check out that new art in the background. Once again, courtesy of Avowed. Thank you very much. This is for our second major arc that we're in right now, but I digress. I am your host and dungeon master, Skijaramaz, otherwise known as Tone Shift. And with us today, we have almost everyone. One of us is running a little late. We have SepiaWolfe playing Tuki Fletcher, our Crovan rogue. The mic thing again.
Oh, wonderful. Hello, everyone.
we managed to nail down what the fuck was happening with that. We have Mick playing Boron, our half-dwarven battlemaster.
Salutations.
We have Willyzin playing Ludviek, our Rythari paladin.
Sorry if I sound tinny.
Yeah, he's
Different
on his
microphone.
phone. He's on his phone at the moment. We have Goldwyn playing Minnove, our kobold bard.
Hello.
And last, and today definitely least, Impulsive is not here yet. We're starting like 46 minutes later than normal on the first day when we don't have a time limit since this campaign started because he doesn't understand what the word little means. I will absolutely be beating him up for that. So there's just going to be an empty window on the HUD for the foreseeable future. Hopefully he gets here soon. If not, everyone is going to be extremely pissed at him.
Speaking of which, Impulsive just messaged me.
What did he say?
He claims, I'll be there in a minute or two. The visitors were doing some band practice here with my dad, and the music would have been picked up on my mic.
I mean,
so he had visitors that were doing.
I mean, I get that. That's
band.
fair. He could have said as such.
He could have.
He should have.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Oh, see, now I'm wondering what
the urge to just surreptitiously subtract 1d6 hit points from him, but I'm not going to do that.
That's called metagaming.
That's called a pissed off dungeon master. Anyway.
Call it vicious mockery.
Vicious mockery. You know, I'll have Minnove cast my vicious mockery on him. I'll do it just for you.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We can cast vicious mockery on Impulsive, not on Kari. Anyway. So all of that aside, where last we left off, our assembled band of adventurers had found themselves being hired for a not insignificant sum by one Gottfried Helkus, a coordinator and agent for the Order of the Solemn Erudites, to venture into the depths of the Forest of 1,000 Rivers and locate an ancient ruin whose architecture and location do not match any known prior settlements or constructions. Gathering up their supplies, the party ventured first to the city of Riversmeet, not far away from the Academy City, where they gleaned more information on the forest and their destination deeper therein, namely the potentially dangerous threats of all sorts of forms of wildlife, the inhospitable navigation of the deep forest itself, and of course the presence of adherents who cling to the old ways that predate modern Valrivi society, many of which are hostile to outsiders and those who follow the current way of things. But the party, thankfully, did not encounter any of those. Venturing deeper and deeper into the dark thicket of the wood, mist and rainfall gradually crowded up on them, slowing their pace from time to time, shadowing their steps, bringing down the mood, but progress was made, until eventually the party arrived in the region of the forest where the ruins are said to be located. With a bit of ingenuity from one Ludviek, climbing to the top of a towering tree to survey the lands in a surprising act of acrobatics for a man wearing heavy armor, the party managed to formulate a plan. They know that the ruin they seek is in this general area, albeit a wide area it is, and they know that the ruin is settled on the shores of one of the smaller, unmapped streams that slices through the depths of the forest, winding their way eternally toward the shores of Lake Baflaril, which then drains out into the oceans far beyond. Figuring that following the contours of these rivers back and forth through the area will eventually lead the party to their destination, they set about with just that. And as the day dragged on, getting on into the afternoon, they found themselves accosted by a group of hungry river drakes, these sort of combination between like seals and alligators with blue scales and really big eyes, that gave the party a bit of a hard time, bit of a headache, harassed and harangued them in a bit of a brutal and bloody conflict, short-lived, thankfully, that ultimately ended with the river drakes defeated and only some clothes mildly wetted by salt water, or not salt water, fresh water, and some fresh spilled blood. It is in the aftermath of that confrontation that we ended, and as such, it is there that we shall resume. So, ladies and gentlemen, I shall do a focus ping to bring us all here. So, it is in the immediate aftermath of your confrontation with the river drakes. Those whose bodies were in the water have begun to wash away. It is still a very glum, foggy day with a light precipitation over your heads. What would you like to do?
I vote we just continue following the river of our plan to find the ruin.
That probably sounds like a good idea.
All right. You don't want to, like, tend wounds or anything first? Because, like, you did take a few knocks. Minnove in particular.
Just a flesh wound. It's fine.
I did learn how to use some medical supplies. If you'd like, I can patch you up.
It could be worse. I mean, like, I'm fine. Just a couple bruises here and there. Scared shitless, but, you know, it's, rather keep it safe in case if, you know, we encounter any more of those, and it becomes much more of a problem. I wouldn't want to waste it just for a couple bruises and some
I don't do spells.
scrapes.
Huh?
Okay.
Impulsive!
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I messaged Goldwyn and say the people visiting were like my dad's like band and stuff, and they literally practice on the other side of the wall whenever they practice here. So it would have all been picked up on the mic the entire time because these walls are thin.
And like the only way around that would have been like push to talk.
And even then, like, it's going to come through when I push the button.
It's like you'd hit the button, you'd start talking, all of Kari's dialogue would be accented by sick guitar riffs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just Kari, though, isn't it?
And drums. So, okay.
So, yeah, we just got done with the intro and the recap. The party is still by the riverside. Minnove is trying to dissuade anyone from performing medical aid. I think out of everyone, Kari took the most damage, though.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm fine, honestly. if anything, if I really feel like it, I can just patch myself up. It's no big deal, honestly. I appreciate it though, but Kari got a bite taken out of him, so.
Would you like me to use some bandages, Kari?
Yeah, where is my... Hang on.
What?
Where is my sheet? Oh, the thing was collapsed. Okay. It's like, what the heck?
I'd like to have Ludviek check Kari's bite to be sure there's no sign of infection at all.
All right, go for it. Medicine check. 11. You're trained in this. It's not really that hard. Looking over the bite marks on Kari's shoulder from when that river drake had sort of chomped down on him, the punctures go fairly deep, hence like the blood and the amount of HP lost. But you're fairly confident that, with like a very minor utterance of some magic to just kind of sterilize the wound, there's not any risk of infection.
All right. Sorry, I can't see. Hey, Kari, how many are you missing? Hit points? 10?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously,
okay.
this doesn't cost any magic.
Yeah, Tuki does have the healer feat, so she can use a healing kit to restore HP once per person without blowing any other resources.
Yeah, to which Ludviek says, well, Ludviek says, there's no sign of any infection. Just a bit of healing and time and you'll be fine. Back on your feet, just fine.
I'm not too worried about that. I've been stitched up quite a bit, if you remember. I'm more worried about my shirt.
You guys
it's stained, it's ripped.
Back. And
I
was like 15 feet from the shore.
I mean, like, I'm pretty sure if we could go to the, when we get back, we can, sew it up.
But blood is so hard to get out of this fabric.
It really is, and I apologize. Oh, wait, actually, hold on.
It is raining, so you do have that working in your favor right now.
Hooray.
Just gonna do that, seeing if that gets rid of any of the blood stain.
Yeah, sure, I'll prestidigitation. You do a prestidigitation over the wounded spot and manage to, you just kind of, pull the moisture of the blood out into, a little globule that just kind of hangs in the air, and you just kind of chuck it off to one side, and it splats like a bad physics render.
Yeah.
There you go.
So Kari's gonna watch that and go, that is disturbing, actually.
Don't think about it too hard there, Kari. Don't think about it too hard there, Kari. Tuki, stitch him up.
So this is going to be 1d6 plus 8.
Whoa.
1.
Wow.
So
It's like a guaranteed full heal. Never mind.
In aftermath, can I do
oh my gosh.
Can I do bardic on that or no?
No, it's just I don't think so. It don't matter. It's all but 1 hit point. He's good.
Yeah. Here, I'll pull it up. Just so that people can see.
I like to imagine that she accidentally poked him, prodded a nerve with the needle, and he was just like, ow.
Yeah, so it is an effective. So Tuki takes a couple minutes applying a bit of ointment themselves, and largely just some treated bandages over the wound. It doesn't take very long, and aside from some stiffness in your shoulder, you feel more or less right as rain when all is said and done.
Feel right as rain now that all is said and done.
Okay, smartass. All right. So, With that done, your wounds squared away. I don't recall exactly what time of day it was last time when we ended. I am assuming it was somewhere in the middle of the afternoon when that attack came, so I will assume slightly past lunchtime. I also can't remember if you guys were following the river west or if you were following upstream east.
We were following it west because I remember us having the whole debacle of flipping the orientation.
Right, okay. All right, well then. So, reassuming your prior orientation, you begin to once again follow the river. Sticking to the sands, you don't have to worry so much about obstructions aside from the occasional big rock or fallen over tree. Easy enough to clamber over. As you're going, every so often, other animals scamper away that had been hanging out near the waterside. Smaller creatures that have no interest in fighting your group or contesting territory. Herbivores or smaller rodents that skitter away into the underbrush. Gradually, let's see here. So you're traveling at like, trying to remember exactly what your travel pace. We'll say you have about 10 miles of travel left today. That sounds about fair. So, continuing to follow the river, eventually you start to arrive at the end of the designated area, largely sort of deduced by the two Kraven in your group who have that fantastic spatial awareness thanks to Keen Mind. Just sort of call it to the group that, you're reaching the end of the designated area. You didn't see any sign of the ruin on this path, but you do reach a point where several of the rivers that are in this region sort of converge on this spot. Several shallow brooks sort of weaving together to create something slightly wider. Notably, however, it seems more to be deeper as the waters start rushing more aggressively as they sort of fill in this deeper void where they converge. As if their combined pressure pushed more aside, lower down, rather than widening the gorge.
Like a reverse delta.
Kinda, yeah. Okay. A delta is what happens when the land flattens out as a river approaches a larger body of water, and as a result, the water just kind of spills out like across the floor, and only like really shallow bumps or rises in the terrain create this sort of just like a bunch of really small, shallow islands that could easily be swallowed up by a rising tide.
Correct. And I told you we should have gone upriver. Oh well.
Did you?
I don't think he said
that. Because I distinctly remember you being like, all right, let's go. Marching on.
Regardless, now that we have gone one way, but regardless, now that we have gone one way, we can go the other. We have eliminated one possibility, so the other one must be what remains.
We also don't really have a time limit on what we do. But like, we're already here, so the time limit is kind of wary.
I think we all want to get out of here, don't we?
Well, yeah, I don't want to get eaten by another fucking drake.
Makes sense.
I would rather not either.
It's as two people that were in the cause of it. No, thank you. I'd rather pass. Not on this Jet 2 holiday.
Yeah, Kari got the bites. Minnove got the water. All right, well, you have maybe another hour or so of light left if you would like to keep traversing before you try to set up camp.
Can I do
Should we set up camp? Oh, you go, Tuki?
I was going to ask if I could do some sort of investigation to see if I could find any, like, cut stones in any of the path or beachways.
You can roll it. You can certainly try. 13. Nope. You're just kind of seeing like just standard forest river affair here. You do got to keep in mind whatever ruins the river crawlers found are extremely old. Anything that might have come away from those ruins to wash down here following the riverways probably would have been eroded into nothing long ago.
All right. Should we set up camp or should we just keep going? Honestly, I don't. And rest until we get to when we get to the ruins.
I think we should make use of the little light we got left in the day.
I agree. We should keep on looking. While there is light, there is time.
Well, I'm saying keep on going while there's light, but I'm also suggesting keep on going even when it's dark.
I would rather not. I like to see where I'm going.
Yeah.
Well, you have your lantern. It'll be fine.
Yes, but then other things could see us very easily.
And you know what? That's okay. We have Boron. And we have Ludviek. It's fine. And Tuki. It's fine.
And...
Well, continuing the search might be a good idea.
Me.
The ability. I would say rest is also equally important, especially for such a long journey we've been on.
Yeah, we should get some rest and continue tomorrow after we set up camp.
I say we keep going for the remainder of light.
Right. You're confident that you find a good spot to rest?
Somewhere at a good distance away from water, at least.
Please. I mean, kind of hard when water's literally the whole gimmick of this place.
Like some sort of water temple.
None of you have a hook shot either. Bad times ahead.
Well, if you want, we could set up your hammock over the river. You could be,
I would rather not. I was on a log over river, and I was taken down over the river.
I don't know. She just said she could be useful in some fashion. I can't imagine how else she would be.
And I'm not too confident
I might as well hang
textile strength of the hammock that's not been used for at least a dozen years.
Plus, that river is like
20
feet from like one side to the other, so you'd be stretching that rope really far.
Might as well at that point just be putting a bell on me and serving myself everywhere, being like, dinner, everyone, dinner.
It's like, oh, grizzly bears.
Oh, grizzly bears. Do you care to have a nibble?
Oh, coyotes.
Oh, hitman. I'm not Jacob from Drawfee. I shouldn't be making that joke. Anyway.
So,
all right.
No,
so
I'd rather keep.
All right, let's keep it going then.
Yeah. As I can tell, the vote is keep it going so long as you have light, and then set up camp once it gets dark. All right.
Yeah.
That is the vote. All right, so picking up on the next river, you start to claw your way sort of back, and the travel pace is like how many miles? I need to remind myself. It's been a second since I've actually had to look at this a bit more in depth. Where the speed? Come on, Compendium, help me out here. There we go. All right, movement speed.
By the way, sorry if my mic keeps disconnecting. Discord is crashing on this phone.
That's all good.
I'll
It's
try
all
to
good. All right, so that's how you manage to get about there, sort of following the next stream up river before the sun dips low enough on the horizon that what little light could penetrate the gray cloud cover begins to fade into darkness and otherwise uselessness. So, with that in mind, you go to find a place to tuck in for a night of sleep. Who is taking first watch?
Kari. He doesn't want to wake up early.
Okay. All right, Kari. So.
Kari's like, that's why I did this. I had to wake up early. Fuck you all. Taking first shift to get my Betty pie.
All right.
Why is everyone so mean to me?
No.
Out of love, out of love.
All right, buddy. Go ahead and make for me your perception check, Kari.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Maybe he should have got shut-eye first.
Kari, you were fine the last few nights you've been traveling through this forest. But on those nights, you hadn't been attacked by gross, slippery fish monsters that hadn't ruined your jacket and made you sore and ruffled all your feathers, and the rain is making it so damn hard to properly preen them. So you're like sitting there by your campfire, such as it is, barely protected by some overhanging branches of a particularly tall tree, just trying to preen your feathers and get everything clean and just kind of agitating your wound as you're doing it. You pay absolutely no attention to your surrounding environment, which is why it is extremely lucky that nothing attacks you. Because they would have gotten that drop on you. It's like the prestidigitation spell did wonders, but it did miss a few spots, and it was like, oh no, this feather's ruined. Oh, I got to rip it out.
Kari, shut up. I want sleep.
Who's taking second watch?
I'll take it. Ludviek will take it.
All right. Perception check, Ludviek.
Did that do it?
Thank you. I need to go continue preening over here.
Did that roll it?
Did not.
No, nothing rolled.
Great. Give me a second. I gotta reset the screen.
Oh no. Yeah, Will's on his phone for this session. He's not at his usual computer, so bear with us for any technical difficulties, please.
All right. There's the... And if I somehow disconnect, I'll still roll. Although if it gets really bad, I may just have to end up be only in the call and have to have you do all my stuff, Sketch. Sorry.
It's all good. I've done
Sounds
that
familiar.
before. Yeah, right? Wow. That is one better than Kari's.
What did I get? I can't load the tab.
7.
Ouch.
You rolled
2
a
plus
7.
5.
Yeah. So, Jesus. So, Ludviek, you're not necessarily concerned with self-maintenance in the way Kari was, but just something about this particular night is grungy and gross and distracting, and you're kind of having a hard time concentrating. I would like you to roll me a d12, please.
Can I add one single thing to that, if I may?
You may.
Kari's still like 6 feet away trying to preen.
Okay.
He's distracted by the bed. All right, Sketch. I'm gonna have to ask you to roll that for me.
Okay.
This thing is just crazy.
Understood.
I'd rather stay on the call.
9. All right.
I'll take the chips where they fall.
Indeed.
Chips.
All right. So, all right, your watch is otherwise, thankfully, it's fairly uneventful. For a moment, at one point, you find a fern fae approaching your pack, but you kind of shoo it off. That's about it.
Now Kari goes
May
to bed.
have to elaborate what fern face are.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
What are those? They on the door.
right, so fern fae are small, rodent-like, sort of rabbit-kin creatures with dark, coarse brown fur they're most known for a growth coming out of their backs that sort of branches out and almost resembles, depending on the subspecies, either a really, really big four-leaf clover or the leaves of a fern plant, which aren't an actual growth but are more of like a series of appendages which fern fae can use to blend in with their environment. They're small, very round and rotund creatures, almost spheroid in shape. They're very cute. They're little omnivores that like to eat like bugs and grubs and little nuts and roots and berries, and nibble on plant leaves and whatnot. That said, they are an absolute bane to farmers. There is a saying in some corners of the world where fern fae are prevalent: if you grow cabbages and the fern fae show up, no you don't. Because they will eat your entire fucking crop.
Well, good thing we don't have cabbages.
Indeed. And they breed like rabbits, too. That's why they're such a big problem. If there is one, there shall be more, and they reproduce extremely quickly. You're going to have several generations in, like, a couple years.
Kind of wonder if there's farms of people who breed fern fae for easy meat.
I feel like it'd be quite an invasive species.
They definitely can be. They definitely can be. But they provide a very useful source of food for a lot of carnivores.
Yeah, any good prey species breeds rapidly. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
exactly.
They sound really cool.
So yeah, you kind of find just a lone one that just kind of wanders up to your pack and just starts sniffing at it and is like, hey, no, and just kind of like wave your hammer at it and it just kind of skedaddles.
Adorable.
All right,
cool.
Who would like, I believe, final watch?
Take it.
Whatever you do, do not look at Kari. He's too distracting.
He's already gone to bed.
Yeah, he goes to bed at the end of Ludviek's. All right, Tuki, perception?
Okay.
Wow.
That is nice.
Tuki is paying fucking attention.
Tuki is paying the bills.
So, nerves somewhat rattled after being attacked by wild animals earlier that day. Your attention is sharp, clear, and focused as you pay attention to the forests around you. And nothing, thankfully, harasses you. But something does sort of catch your eye, barely sort of visible in the flickering of the firelight. An oddity in a nearby tree. It sort of draws your attention. You hadn't noticed it before because you'd been busy setting up camp and then sleeping. There's a sort of hollow, sort of like a triangle-shaped sort of natural-ish looking hollow that recedes into the trunk of a nearby tree, sort of overhung slightly by moss and a handful of vines. It looks odd, though. You haven't seen such a hollowing in any of the other trees you've seen.
She'll go check it out.
All right. Stepping forward and brushing some of the hanging moss and vine and ivy aside, you see it looks almost like this tree grew around a tall stone.
Interesting.
As you sort of look at it for a second, though, you start to sort of clock. It looks too uniform. And you haven't really seen just jutting rocks rising up out of the ground very much as you've been traversing this forest. A lot of them are sort of worn down, eroded down by the near constant rainfall that often harangues this forest. So to see this sort of sheltered by the tree, almost sort of not ribbed, but crenellated? Is that the word?
Maybe?
It's that thing where like Roman pillars have the ridges in them that sort of recede crenellations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What you're looking at it almost looks like crenellations. Smoothed down, perhaps, but...
Oh. Make a note of that and do her best not to wake everybody up.
All right. So, the night passes without incident. When the sun rises, what warmth is able to break through the cloud cover is enough to lessen the fog that has settled over the forest, but not enough to dispel it outright. But the sun rises, bringing with it warmth and the calls of distant animals going about their day. You all take a full rest, so get back all your stuffs.
Hooray! I get my 1 hit point back.
And any burnt spell slots. Those are important.
Yay, 1 hit point.
Yep. So,
Thank goodness Vicious Mockery is a cantrip.
Hey everyone. I found something last night.
Oh?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure this is worked stone. Kind of, like, for lack of a better term, inside the tree.
Well, that doesn't typically happen. Ludviek, Kari, have you ever heard of a tree that grew stone?
Can I roll to see if I have?
Sure, I'll allow it as a nature check.
Alright,
I think it just grew around it, but it's...
You know, that would make a lot more sense.
Yeah. Natural, so a natural 20 for 23 from Karion, like if you've ever heard of a tree growing rocks. No, that doesn't happen. Trees sometimes growing around stones or other formations in the environment, or their root systems sort of cradling things. That does happen sometimes. And sometimes magic can be used to sort of encourage that, to create like secret passages into underground environments hidden away in root systems. It's been done before by like certain like isolated like druidic sects or whatever, but it's not a common practice. And looking at what Tuki is sort of pointing out, it doesn't look like that's what was done here. It looks like just a tree grew up around some rock. But as Tuki points out,
that doesn't happen. I happen to be an expert at this very subject, apparently.
You're right. Yeah, you had to do some reading on how trees grow at one point because like it just came
happened
up.
To be recently.
It was an idle curiosity that you studied for a bit once, and it stuck because everything sticks because you're a Kraven. You cannot forget things. You could just not always think to mention them.
It makes sense, I guess, that it grew around it, like you said there, Tuki. And I don't know. I don't know much about trees. I just see a tree and I'm like, that's wood.
Das wood.
I guess I was thinking we could have missed everything. If this is how nature is growing around it.
Oh, you'll think that maybe the forest has grown around the ruins so much that other signs are hidden?
Yes, mostly.
Well, if the river crawlers found it, I think we can.
River crawlers also.
They're professionals.
Yeah, and...
I think...
Well...
You and Ludviek are the only ones.
Arguable.
I mean...
There's a difference of knowing nature and literally exploring this place specifically learning about the Thousand River Forest. So
can I have Ludviek look around to see if there's any other stone obstructions that look similar to this in the area, or yeah, basically looking for other stone pillars that may be within eyesight shot.
Sure.
All right. Perception. I think I can do this.
Yeah, I'll help you look around.
All right.
Kari is too busy staring at the weird tree thing.
Goldwyn, did you hit the long rest button? I'm looking at token storage and your HP isn't setting.
Oh, I just did it manually, but I can.
There's a
do the
long rest button?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I've been doing
didn't
it
know that was-
manually for years.
Yeah, it's in the core tab. It's right under the characteristics panel. Sort of.
There, I hit long rest. It doesn't do anything, so that's why I was like, oh, okay, I'll just do it manually.
Weird. Your
Okay.
yeah, your hit points just aren't resetting for some reason. Oh well, whatever. All right, so you were starting to scour the local area for any more signs of what you're looking for?
Specifically, looking for more stone pillars that may look like this one, maybe covered by other tree. Looking to see if there's possibly, a trail of these pillars.
All right, go ahead and make for me a perception check. That is 2 natural ones. That is 2 natural ones.
Ludviek can't do shit. This fog is terrible.
The fog and the rain certainly are not helping. Also, you're not necessarily accustomed to searching through deep forests. You're more of a savanna type, so forests are kind of a new environment for you. So you kind of start looking around and, as you're trying to, parse, anything that might be a clue from the dense foliage, you kind of just start getting overstimulated because, there are at least 27 different types of mushroom growing on this one tree, and all of them smell different.
Was trying to do that as well. So,
I mean, you can roll it. You might have better luck.
Can I do that with investigation?
Yes,
He did.
Sure, you can roll investigation, I suppose.
Natural
Tuki.
20.
Yeah. Whether or not it's necessary seems
Yeah.
moot.
All right. So the two of you, so Boron and Tuki sort of start tag teaming this. You look around a little more, start surveying the area. You don't necessarily see any more pillars like this one, but you get the impression that whatever this pillar is here for probably isn't necessarily very far. It might have been a waymark, perhaps. Or a road sign, or some equivalent. Or part of some other structure that's long since fallen, but is attached to or related to what you're looking for. So, you're in the right area, certainly. You're just not there just yet.
It's possible that the river we've been following used to be some sort of road or something. Back when it was not as wet as it is right now.
Facebook Messenger, no.
I wonder what happened here to make it so wet.
What I can imagine is long winter. Everything melted.
I mean, it was...
That'd be my assumption, at least. I'm not well-versed in it.
I mean, it was wet like this even before long winter came up.
Probably 1,000 years or so.
Yeah, long winter was only like long winter was only like a century ago, and most of the climates of the world haven't really changed all that much in that time. There was some ecological upheaval during long winter, but not necessarily as much as one might expect. A lot of ecosystems recovered fairly quickly. So.
All right, I think we'll find out in a short while.
All right. So, moving forward, basically you're going to need to be making perception checks as a group to try and find this ruin, as you're pretty confident that you are very close, but actually locating it amidst all this growth could be extremely tricky. Gonna treat this kind of similarly to how we did traversal. Someone will be the spearhead with perception. Everyone else can take up different actions to try and make the job easier or help in the search effort. So, make your nominations. Who's spearheading the effort?
Is it all perception?
Whoever is spearheading makes the perception check. Again, it's like when we were doing traversal and navigation. Mm-hmm. Everyone can pick different skills if they can convince me that it would be helpful to help in the effort to decrease the DC of the search.
So who has the best perception bonus, I guess?
Ludviek?
Definitely not me.
I've got a 5.
So do I.
Okay, and I have a 4. So it'd probably be between you two there then.
I'd say
Rock, paper, scissors.
Well, no, Ludviek says, he goes to the car, he's just like, oh, these senses are messing with my head. Kari, could you take the lead this time? You need to calm down.
Yes, you go take a seat. I'd be honored to take the lead this time.
All right. So, Kari spearheading the search. What is everyone else doing to help with searching? Let's just go down the list and start with Tuki.
We'll add my investigatory skills, suss out patterns, and
All right.
see if I can discern any.
All right. That makes sense. Investigation is deduction and, not prosecuting, that's a wrong word. Scrutinizing. So go ahead and make for me that investigation roll then. 26. I'll count that as a success, bringing down the DC by 1. You are extremely attentive, sort of focusing your attention on the environment, scanning everything, picking out details and whatnot. You feel fairly confident that you aren't missing anything. You're used to busy environments after all. You've been in forests a fair few times back home. You know a thing or two about spotting odd things that stick out like sore thumbs amid the foliage and the wood bark, so you're on top of things. Next up, Boron, what are you doing to aid in the search?
I will try to use my survival skills to supplement the search. Yeah.
All right, roll it.
Oh no!
Yeah. That's 20 followed by a net 1.
Yeah, so, Boron, you kind of get a little eager. It's like, finally, we can get out of this fucking rain. And as you're kind of getting a little over-eager and trying to, like, just parse things, you're not necessarily looking quite where you're going. You kind of trip backwards. You're sort of walking back to while keeping an eye on the tree line over a fallen log into the river, and just kind of everyone kind of wastes a little bit of time just trying to like fish you out of the water as you go wandering off. It's hilarious, but it wastes some time.
Just be thankful there was no water drakes nearby.
Yeah, thankfully you're not
I was
attacked. You
just
just
taking
kind
a little swim.
in plate armor that drags you to the bottom. Fantastic.
I've
Ludviek.
never seen someone do a backwards swan dive.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
can show you something new.
Ludviek, you're up. How are you aiding in the effort here?
Okay, right on that one. I think what I'm going to have him do is just also to center himself. He's going to try and to just block out the sights that he's seeing, instead focus more on the sounds and the smells of the nearby area. See if there's anything. He's going to try to intuit is like listen to the calls of the animals. See if there's any patterns of like, oh, they're receding from this area, because these ruins sound like they were dangerous, and if there is something dangerous there, that means there'd be less wildlife nearby it.
Huh, okay.
I'm going to try and...
That would be perception then.
Oh, okay, perception. All right. Come on, baby.
21. I'll count that as a success. So, sort of closing your eyes and tuning out the very active and noisy visuals of the environment, you focus instead on the auditory and the olfactory. And you do start to pick up that some of the patterns of how the wildlife is flitting around are somewhat different in this area. It seems less like they're alarmed or unsettled by anything. Whatever these ruins are, they'll have been here for a long time. But there is something that is. It kind of reminds you of how sometimes birds and other whatnot and other chittering animals might start to quiet down if a predator is nearby. They're not fully quieting, but they're more wary about their calls, especially stuck in the trees as they are to keep out of the rainfall.
Mm.
All right, and Minnove, what are you doing?
I'm going to kind of take Kari's spot in what he usually would do in the music sense and bring up morale. She's going to kind of like hum a little tune.
All right, that'll be a performance check.
Awesome. And would I be able to tack on a bardic inspiration for Kari or no?
You can absolutely do that, yes.
Cool. So Kari, you're going to get a bardic inspiration.
I feel inspired to look more closely at the foliage.
All right.
I already thought of a rhyme. For you, Goldwyn. Minnove could say, like, on this adventure we do set. Come on, Boron, now don't get wet.
Her.
All right, 27. That is definitely a success. You sort of you just do a quick little bit of magic, a little sustained aura to keep the rain off of your sitar as you start strumming out a tune. Very lively, very energetic, very bouncy, sort of getting everyone's energy up to counteract the drizzle and the drear. And with that little bit of just invigoration, Kari, the difficulty target of the roll has been decreased by 2, and you have a bardic inspiration die. So please make for me your perception check.
What would be the bardic
D6, I believe, right now.
Yeah, I think it's a D6.
Yeah, it's a
at this
D6
level.
right now.
Okay. Just double checking. Okay, we're just gonna...
Oh.
17.
Well,
Can I do guidance on top of that?
Hang on. Wait.
Can you?
I mean, I've allowed it before, but in this circumstance, because this is more of a long-form search and guidance is more like just like a burst of like direction, I'll say no because you're busy playing your instrument. Still, 17.
Very fair.
17 is more than what you needed. The original DC was a 15, and with the successes you got, you managed to knock it down to a 13. So, with a 17, you succeed. So,
Oh my god.
So, as you scour and survey and analyze and slowly pick your way along the beach looking for more signs, eventually, as you sort of as the river is sort of starting to like bend so that its origination is more southward, you sort of follow the curve until eventually you see a particularly dense cluster of trees up ahead. And just barely visible, poking out, you see what appears to be a somewhat overgrown archway of stone.
So, overgrown with...
Vines, ivy, moss, and of course, like entombed, surrounded by trees.
Okay, so... You said it's raining right now, right?
Yes, not necessarily super heavily, but it is raining.
Okay.
And foggy.
Yeah.
Okay, so then in that case, it would be, it would be... not... So Kari could... It's a lot safer for Kari to try to bird away whatever's blocking the archway.
I mean, it's not so overgrown that you can't, like, walk through.
Yeah, but it's more dramatic.
I mean, I suppose that is true.
Okay,
Are you
do it.
trying to start the fire in the forest?
Do I need to, like, actually roll for burning hands, or does it just, like, happen and I use a spell slot?
You can just blow the spell slot if you want. Again, it's not that overgrown. Remember,
Okay.
people were able to get in there before. They probably cleared it when they realized, wait a second, there's something behind this wall of greens. Chop it down and let's take cover.
Yeah, just...
So,
I mean,
so
Unless you want the ruins to make a DC save.
So, you gather some fire in your hands, uttering a quick incantation. The rest of you unexpectedly see Kari sort of withdrawing his ringstone in one hand and this ball of fire gathering in his other before he puts his hand forward and this wide cone of fire just sort of fans out over this, what some of the rest of you hadn't noticed yet, but as the flames disperse and you see, like, starting to, like, shrivel greenery and, like, ivies and wallflowers sort of falling away in cinders and ash, this dark archway of gray, moss-smothered stone, now somewhat blackened and charred, leading into a dark environment, barely lit by holes in its roof.
Kari is going to turn around and do whatever the Kravan equivalent of a smile is and go, I found the way, I think.
The
You also burned the
yeah,
way.
Yeah, the Kravan equivalent of a smile is your cheeks lift.
You also burned the way quite drastically.
We could have just chopped that away, but okay.
I get it, dramatic flair and all.
Hey, that's starting to sound a little meta. You guys didn't even notice it before.
They were about to. Anyways, so you found the entrance.
Can I quickly doodle what it looks like in her notebook?
I mean, you're still out in the rain, so I would not advise doing that until you're inside, where you can make sure your book doesn't get drenched.
Someone could give me cover.
Ludviek just holds Ludviek comes over and holds his shield over her, providing an umbrella.
All right.
Kari's just gonna walk inside like a normal creature.
All right. So Kari is in first. All right.
There could be traps, Kari. You don't know.
Actually, before walking in, oh dang it! I thought I got dancing lights. I did not. Never mind.
You have a lantern. That
Yeah,
I
but
gave
it's
you.
not as cool as a ball of arcane light just floating in your palm.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, so Minnove, you're taking a quick sketch down of the entrance.
Yes, of what the entrance looks like, and kind of like what the surrounding area also looks like.
All
just
right.
so that it's easier to kind of find if someone was to look for it.
All right. This will be either performance or dexterity.
I'll do performance if that's okay.
All right. 23. It takes you a few minutes to kind of get like a rough sketch down. You imagine you can fill in the details more later, but you've got like an outline down that you can come back to. It only takes you a couple minutes. Seems pretty accurate. You kind of show it to Tuki and everyone else like, yeah, it seems about right.
All right.
So.
Do you think it's very large down there?
Only one way to find out. As he lifts his lantern high.
All right. So.
Is this a bad time to mention I'm a little claustrophobic?
It's the perfect time.
Just stay close. I mean, well, I guess that's the opposite of what. Just there, Tuki. You can hold my horn or hold Boron's hand if you'd like.
You can hold my horn.
Or Boron's hand.
It's not the first time we've been in enclosed spaces.
And I recall it was quite uncomfortable for you then, too.
Yep.
Could be.
Well. So.
Could knock you out with a sleep spell. But I feel like that'd be a really bad idea.
Yes.
And we'd have to carry her around, which would be of quite convenience for everyone.
Indeed. So.
It's fine. You'll be fine, Tuki.
So.
Okay.
Stepping forward. Can I get a marching order, please? I know Kari went in first, so he's going to be in front.
I'll be right behind Kari to pull him out of the way when something inevitably happens.
All right.
Okay.
I think
Is that a
Tuki's-
held action?
Trust me, I want to hold you. That's for sure.
All right.
What?
Sepia, where are you putting yourself?
I think Tuki's going to be at the back, closest to open air.
All right.
Closest to running away.
Hey, it's a perfect spot for a rogue to fade into the shadows.
All right. So, stepping forward and venturing in, there's no descending staircase. As you step in, you look down and you see what appears to be maybe like the old iron frame of what might have once been a wooden door, whatever wood it had held long ago having eroded and withered away. The light from Kari's lantern does a fair bit of good for you in here as he casts it about, but there is still light streaming into the space through windows long blown out to the left and right, framing a fairly sizable chamber, a long domed roof, not domed, but sort of curving inward, with various holes in it, permitting a dribble of rainfall that falls in alongside shafts of dust-addled ringed sunlight grayed from the cloud cover. Standing directly before you, a towering statue of stone, smothered once again in moss and lichen and ivy and all sorts of various wildflower growths, of a winged figure. Tall, bipedal, winged, but all other distinguishable features utterly eroded away into just smooth slop. Various thick growths of roots penetrate the floor at the far corners, reaching up to coil along the walls with various growths of ferns and other plants following them. You see behind the statue 3 trees rising up that sort of almost frame the statue, almost as if they were planted there intentionally, but given how long this place has sat abandoned, that's almost certainly not the case. You see a tarnished plaque at the base of the statue with writing on it.
Kari is
Let's go ahead and give you all a visual.
Oh, hang on, the new map is still loading.
Excellent.
Kari is, I guess, gonna approach it, wipe off the plaque, and then whisper incantation to himself to cast Comprehend Languages. I mean, if he doesn't already understand the language on the plaque.
Looking at the language on the plaque, it is... Make just a flat intelligence check for me.
Okay, let me just add that spells back first. And then just flat intelligence.
It seems familiar in some regards, but it's not a language you know.
Okay, in that case, we will use the Comprehend Languages.
All right. So you cast Comprehend Languages. Does Comprehend Languages compensate for text or writing that has been eroded?
Let me... It's, it says you are, or I'll click on the thing just to post it.
Alright, let me read this here real quick. If it'll fucking let me. Here we go, alright. Comprehend languages. For the duration, which is an hour, you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that you hear. You also understand any written language that you see, but you must be touching the surface on which the words are written. It takes about 1 minute to read 1 page of text. The spell doesn't decode secret messages in a text or a glyph, such as an arcane sigil, that isn't part of a written language. Okay. Okay. So the text it's old, as it sort of starts to resolve in your mind. You don't get the full meaning of it, as several of the sort of sculpted words on the plaque have eroded with time, even brushed off as they are, but you kind of get the meaning of some of the words. Be welcomed, sanctuary, enlight, harmon, and then it's just garbled gibberish after that. The only other sort of thing that finds you here, if I can find it myself, give me a second. I'm having to dig into some lore that I haven't had to use much of. There's some old lore I've written that I kind of got lost in my notes. You do find a collection of words that don't really seem to mean anything to you. It's just a string of syllables. Janelle Kimor.
So Kari's gonna file that away and assume that's probably some kind of name.
I will,
if you can't translate it.
We'll park it in chat so that you can see how it would be spelled.
Okay, so yeah, his assumption is it's probably a name then, it's some super duper old thing that it just for some reason cannot magically translate or comprehend. But the name is much more likely.
Fair enough.
In his mind.
Fair enough.
So Kari's going to still be kind of looking at the plaque, like running his fingers across it, but just kind of tilt his head over his shoulder a bit and say, I think this is some sort of religious site. If I had to guess based off of what words I can make out here.
Huh. Interesting.
Sanctuary.
I'm gonna also just doodle what I see inside here.
Yep. We'll maintain the performance check you made earlier, so Minnove is diligently taking doodles and notes.
She hasn't stopped doodling.
She doodled the entire way here, doodled the entire way out.
It probably doesn't have an undercommon ring to it.
Nope.
Oh yeah, I was about to say if it was undercommon, I think Kari, he does speak. What's it called? He does speak Lyridol. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lyridol is a distinct language from undercommon though. And Lyridol is dwarven basically.
It's but as it is, I'll just go ahead and say it up front. This language is not one anyone in this party knows.
All right.
Fair enough.
And Tuki knows 5.
I keep forgetting that.
Hang on, wait. So could you maybe might need to double check that.
I didn't even bring it up.
Anyway, so
how do you proceed, everyone?
This is very well.
We lost Ludviek in the Roll20.
Ludviek, no.
I'm reloading.
Can I look around to see if there's any other entrances or anything like that? Where else this room leads to? If there's any other leading rooms?
I mean, I mean, kind of walking around and giving the environment sort of a look over, you do see that there is some closed doors sort of at the southern end of the room, sort of behind the big statue.
Minnove's gonna walk up beside Kari here and kind of tilt, move over a little here, looking over there. Well, I don't know what else this room has to offer, but there might be more over there.
I think this room actually has quite a lot to offer, though. I can understand how you wouldn't be able to comprehend that.
He says, still running his fingers over the plaque.
Minnove's gonna shoot him the dirtiest look, and then walk back here.
He's basically just going to have the one eye on the side facing her, look up, see the look, and then look back down.
Boron is trying to keep everyone in view, basically.
All right.
Not really looking at the environment all that much because he can't really help. He's just looking out for danger.
All right. Go ahead then and make for me a perception check, Boron, that will just serve as your general awareness of your environment. Because you're kind of taking it at a slow pace. Yeah, because you're going at a slow pace right now, I'll allow it to be at advantage first of all, and if your passive perception is higher, we'll default to that.
It is higher. It's 12.
All right.
But, oh well.
Still, it's an active search, so I figured I might as well see if you could roll higher than your passive. All right.
Yep.
And everyone else?
Do you want to maybe...
I think I'm also just going to roll investigation since he's very interested in this place.
All right.
And trying to scrutinize a lot of it.
All right. What in particular are you trying to scrutinize?
Just basically try to scrutinize for anything else that could help identify anything about the culture or civilization that helped to make this place.
Right.
Back in its heyday.
Right. Well, it's hard to deduce much looking at the statue necessarily. Looking around at the rest of the room, sort of paying it the more critical eye and parsing the details rather than just glimpsing them, you notice a distinct sort of airiness about the space. There is a lot of vertical room. The roof is very high for what is otherwise a fairly small, ish chamber. The statue is very large and elaborate, of course, but the roof extends far higher than that. The whole, already you're kind of, you look up and it's oh, that's high. And looking more at, the various bits of stone, it's not like any stonework you've seen before. A lot of the details have, of course, been smoothed down by the centuries, but you do see sort of flowing, swirly patterns, or the implications of them, perhaps, sort of in the smoothed stone that arches over this sort of great entrance hall. It's interesting, to be sure.
Oh, sorry, you first.
Do you maybe want to take a rubbing of that?
Yeah, he says that's a good idea, and I guess he's going to grab a piece of paper just over the... And then one last thing about this is...
Go ahead and add that rubbing to your inventory, by the way.
Okay. Just plaque rubbing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Black rubbing. Okay. So one more thing that I guess he'd like to do in this room. So is there I'm going to basically be making a history check, but My question would be, is there any possibility that this is related to something Kari might have read on before for an advantage, or would this be completely alien to him?
You can make a history check if you want.
Okay.
It's completely alien to you.
Mhm.
But I will say that on some level in the back of your mind, it doesn't feel that alien.
Okay. I think that's just going to make him even more curious, but he's going to head back down towards... I'm imagining all after he got the rubbing, all of like the rest of his like scrutinizing, looking at things, thinking about the histories happening as he's slowly walking down here.
Indeed. This is the most animated I've seen Kari all game.
We're in his element. He's like a bardic scholar.
Yeah, detective mode, activate. I should just throw you mysteries more often.
Is he suddenly wearing a fedora?
No, that's not his style.
I mean, his peak kind of looks like a fedora if you really squint.
No. Ludviek, what are you doing in all this? What is Ludvik's operation in this?
All right, we came in the... What direction did we come in again? I had to reload the map.
We came in from the north side, so up here.
North side. Okay, all right. And it looks like there were, if I remember, there were doors, you said, also to the east and west and south?
No doors to the east or west, just one to the south, where everyone is sort of gathered.
These
are just places where blown out windows are, sort of letting in streams of light. All
right. Then, yeah, I'd like to join the group at the door to the next room to the south then. And I'm going to have him just, basically he's there to be a bulwark. Whoever's going to be opening the door, he's just going to be sure that, if need be, he pulls anyone back in case something were to leap out.
Understood.
Yeah.
So,
Boron's doing the same, basically.
Minnove is going to try and listen to the door to see if there is anything on the other side of the...
Perception check.
Just to kind of, like, be a little bit cautious despite her being like, hey, I'm going to go over here.
You know what? For the sake of not bogging us down with too many rolls, actually. So you put your ear up to the door and you listen in, and you don't hear any movement. You can just barely make out, sort of muffled by the old half-rotted wood. Sounds like sort of the pattering of water and maybe a low, like a cool draft whistling through corridors, perhaps?
Sounds like the ocean. All right. And she's gonna look behind her, make sure everyone's all ready, and she's gonna slowly open the door. Like a little...
Yep, you put your hands up to the wood and give a little push, and they kind of hesitate for a second. The hinges, these sort of swirly, ornate designs, sort of crack and crinkle with rust for a second before they sort of... You are greeted to the sight of a half-collapsed hallway that leads some ways further in, with another identical door at the far side.
This door needs some oil.
You couldn't have been a little bit quieter about that?
I'm sorry, what did you say? The door was really loud.
It's not like anybody here is still alive, I believe. Let's also look out for anything trinkets related or anything.
Yes. You're innocent treasure hunting.
So we're getting paid for this, so...
Is there anything of interest to Kari here in this hallway, or is it just more of the same?
Well, there are some lines on the wall that doesn't have roots growing out of it. The wall with roots growing out of it is basically completely useless. It's like completely overgrown and caved in. All these walls are adorned in ivy and growths and whatnot, but sort of brushing some of them aside under your thumb, you do see what appear to be maybe some old artistic etchings, like maybe old murals.
Interesting.
Minnove's like drawing this entire like area, being like, wow, this is so pretty.
Kari's actually going to set the lantern down and start to cut at some of the ivy and vines to try to get a clearer picture.
All right.
So you burn the outside, but you don't burn the inside?
For one, it's a little bit exhausting of a thing to do. First, two, not in. The fire goes out. It's a cramped space. I don't want to cause problems.
Bah. Picky.
Or damage what might be underneath.
Is that too? I don't want to. It's one thing to go through the door. It's an entire other thing to try to. You don't bring a hammer if you are. You don't bring a hammer for dentistry.
I didn't bring a
Someone say
hammer.
I don't need a.
I brought a hammer.
Uh,
Ludviek, too precious for this world.
Minnove will try and help
Fine.
him cut at it.
Precision.
All
Despite
right,
giving him bullshit, like, despite getting on his dick about it, she's gonna, like, help him.
all right, so carving away some of the growths and ivy to reveal what lies underneath. The murals that you steadily start to reveal over the course of several minutes are regrettably very worn away, like most other things, by the passage of time. It's extremely difficult to make out any meaningful details. But you do see these very elegantly sort of etched swirling lines and patterns. It gives you like this sort of inherent feeling of momentum, of movement. Whoever drew these were trying to communicate a sense of steady acceleration almost. You can just barely make out what might have at one point been depictions of humanoid-ish figures sort of standing sort of in a line, arms raised towards something, perhaps, but anything other than that has long eroded away. Or if it is there, you lack the tools to meaningfully clear away the blockages without potentially damaging something.
If Minnove's knife goes anywhere close to that, he's just going to grab her wrist and then move it somewhere else.
Ow!
Kari is serious about this.
It's not roughly, just like a gentle no.
It's like, keep that.
No, Minnove's just gonna act it up. Gonna absolutely make it dramatic. Ow! Ah!
Oh.
My wrist! Oh, Kari, I've been wounded! Oh no! Oh no! And she's gonna like walk over here.
He's going to give her a look.
Can we keep down the drama, please?
It's not contempt, but it's like a level of like
exasperation.
Negative, like a bit of exasperation and like furrowing of like his bird eyebrow equivalent. And
it's like that was unnecessary.
And just say, you know, when I'm a drama queen, I have actual legitimate reasons to be. But if this is some sort of insult, then it's not very good.
The bard knows vicious mockery. He knows good insults.
I'm not insulting you at all. I'm just saying you're quite strong.
I mean, he is that.
Actually, yes, he is.
Kari rolled stupidly high on all of his fucking stats. It is a nightmare.
You are quite strong, and I got little wrists.
All right, so moving on to the next door, I take it.
Yes.
All right, so once
Again,
more.
Skid, you're sorry to interrupt, Skid. You're just gonna have to do the whole roll 20 for me now. It's just completely collapsed on me. I'm sorry.
All right, it's okay. It gives me a reason to really go ham on describing the environments to you anyway.
I am paying attention.
All right, so sort of putting hands to the next door and pushing This one not as eroded as its fellows. It opens into a... Oh, someone is sharing their screen. It opens into a...
That works.
To a T-section hallway stretching far to your left and right. This more elaborate archway door sits directly across from you, about 10 feet ahead, but the hallway reaches off far, far to the left and right. Dim, like no light, though regularly spaced sconces that sort of almost resemble like a hawk's talon open mid-flight to catch prey, upturned, as if those talons would be cradling flame to provide light. The floor again strewn with rubble and moss. Sort of, you can just barely make out at the far eastern side of this hallway, which stretches quite some ways away, what appears to be like a cave in the wall where more sunlight is sort of shifting through, and pine growths and other sorts of flora are sort of just creeping in through a place where the wall once collapsed. There are a handful of other doors just visible as you sort of cast the light from your lanterns up and down the hallway. One way to the far left-hand side, and then over to the right-hand side, two more just before the corridor bends off for the south. And I will now reveal everything I just said.
Oh, damn. She long.
Yeah, I put a lot of work into this dungeon, so I hope y'all appreciate it.
It's perfect.
Well, if there's one, we all know one person is.
Kari. Kari's like, wow, look at this place.
Okay, so I don't think I need to say that he's...
Everyone stay together. We don't know what's lurking here.
I don't think much is...
Kari's going to say over his shoulder as he kind of steps like right here to look at the wall.
I don't imagine too much is in here, considering I think nothing else has opened the doors for... Oh, how many years do you think those doors have been shut to make such a horrid racket when they were opened?
A very long time.
At least
Yes.
2 or 3 months.
So yes,
I mean, he's not wrong. He did specify at least.
so yes, I imagine if there is anything in here, it's not... It wouldn't be big enough to be any real issue unless there are snakes.
Well,
But do keep in mind, these still seem to be some sort of holy place in sense. I get a feeling it might have been temple, possibly. If true, it's abandoned. It may be bugged. It may be trapped. Should be very careful about where we step.
Right.
But why would it?
I don't
Why would
know.
a temple be trapped?
I don't get the impression that this was intentionally left behind by those that made it.
There's
I
a
will
sense of
say
value
that
there.
I will say this particular hallway is notably less artsy than the one you just came out of. It's this one feels less like if the entrance hall was like a place to wow people, and then the next hallway after that was a place to inform people, or like wow them more with like the murals on the walls. This just feels like getting from point A to point B. This is just a regular hallway. There's nothing really decorative that you can see aside from the talon-shaped sconces.
Could have been a monastery of some sort with monks and such.
All right.
Monastery. That would be possible. Secluded. Some sort of place of worship. That is a very good possibility, Goldwyn. Minnove, very good point.
Are we sure that this is the only ruin in the area? I'm not being Kari. I'm being me asking Skij. Like, is this the only known ruin, or have there been others found and discussed?
There are other ruins in the forest that have been found, but none that have matched this architecture. This is new. This is not cataloged.
Okay.
So this is visibly not of Orion make. Orion make is extremely it has a very strong fit on like utilitarian angles. Everything is like very brutalist and efficient. accented with the surfaces being coated in like gaudy gold plates and elaborate swirls, usually depicting weird circles and crescent symbols that no one's really been able to parse. Not to mention just their elaborate machinery that was attached to everything, again, gilded in gold and copper. This is stone. Very well made stone, but stone. And it doesn't match any like modern like construction or make or anything from like Baracus either. This is definitely far older than that. You have no idea who made this.
Right. In that case, he's going to approach that door, but I am going to hold off on opening it to quit hogging all of the spotlight in here.
Fair enough. I like how you kind of went off to like the farthest door off to the left instead of approaching the big central archway right in front of you.
That's obvious.
Well, no, see, because number one, it's obvious, and number two, you gotta go through like the little side areas first, see what's in there before continuing through what's the obvious signposts of story.
Fair enough.
I agree.
To be
You don't
fair,
want to get locked out.
I mean, to be fair, this place is designed not as a dungeon crawl, but as an archaeology dig. You are trying to just gather information.
Okay.
So,
Ludviek turns to Tuki and asks her, "Is like, I'm getting flashbacks to Canala's rest with this tight corridor. What are you holding up?"
Not so bad when you can see sunlight and trees coming through the walls and such.
Again, I am wary of this place. You have good eye for traps and other things like that. If you see any, let us know immediately.
Can do that.
Or don't. Fun to run into.
or don't. More fun that way.
Yeah.
Boron,
Hold on,
confirmed thrill seeker.
Yeah.
All this fun.
You know, it might have been more fun for you because I was the one who ended up triggering all of the traps.
I was the one who had to impale my hand.
Kari is just going to hear you call that fun, and he's going to say, "I do think this is fun."
Minnove's gonna like be whistling down the hallway as she's like going to one of these doors down here, just kind of like peering through.
Yeah, Tuki just teleported.
Alright, so the group is absolutely splitting up right now. I question the wisdom of this.
Yeah.
Ron, we should all stick together. Kari, nah.
Minnove, let's go. What's over here?
Please pick a route, ladies and
come
gentlemen.
back.
It'll be easier for me if you stick to one location at a time, so I don't have to keep bouncing back and forth between rooms with very different functions. Pick a direction and stick to it.
Just
Ludviek
listening.
calls to Minnove and tells her to come back. Like,
I'm just-
In that case,
I'm just listening, seeing if there's anything nearby. Who knows?
I mean,
in that case,
that's like
gonna open the door.
90 feet away, Minnove. That's quite a junk. Junk? Whatever.
Well, who knows what's around this corner? It could be interesting. She'll walk back though.
Okay. All right.
Like,
so,
fine.
so you started going. I was like, hey, stick together. We can check that later. All right. So
So,
Tuki.
to the south of that entrance, that entryway, is that just an archway to an open space as well?
It's a larger arch-style door, but it is still an openable door.
Oh, it's a door. Okay, yes. Then I'll have Ludviek join the group down there.
All right.
Minnove will stay over with Boron here
All right. So
if Boron stays.
pushing open this next door, it again gives the vibe on the other side of just a utilitarian, lane of conference from one place of whatever the structure is to another. That said, you do see, sort of just past another entangled growth of, vines, sort of on the western wall, another larger sort of archway-style door with another door across from it that resembles the arch that you just left behind, but smaller in size. So let me just reveal that.
Oh my god.
This is not a small dungeon or a small map. It is full of stuff. I put a lot of things in here.
It seems
It's a very long corridor.
Indeed.
Maybe we should find a door that only has a room behind it. Clear that out.
I suppose we can just go through the large double doors that were immediately in front of us. So yeah, he's just gonna go back over here and open the store.
All right.
What?
So doubling back to the larger archway door, you put your hands to that and push it open, and there's this grinding of sort of stone. This is a much heavier door than the last one, reinforced. This sort of sliding up to like this sort of point at the top, sort of like this gradual slope inward, almost like a gentle sloping mountaintop. And as you push it open, you are greeted to a vast and frankly breathtaking space. There's this sort of outer ring area, enormous in scope, that surrounds a sort of depressed into the earth about 5 feet down, what almost looks like a cross between an arboretum and a large seating area. You can see several partially surviving, though all are exhibiting signs of rot and decay, tables and chairs on moth-devoured mats surrounding a central giant tree, the roots of which have broken the paved sort of grid stone floor beneath it in several places, that rises up to a natural skylight that appears to have actually been part of the construction, though has widened with erosion of time, letting in a natural shaft of sunlight directly down onto this tree, giving it this massive and extremely welcoming aura. The whole place just feels like a natural haven.
Oh my god.
Beautiful.
Okay.
So, I think my assumption is correct, and this was a monastery.
Think this was some sort of gathering area of some kind? Perhaps dining hall, or maybe even meeting area?
Or mass?
Can
Let's
I
look
Can
for
I have-
trinkets and stuff?
I'd like to have Ludviek examine the tree more closely. You say this thing's old. I want to see if he can determine exactly how old it is, actually. Maybe that would help date how old this building is.
All right. We'll use a nature check for that, and I'd have to roll it frustratingly.
Sorry.
It's all
you,
good.
though.
It's all good. So that'll be a 14 from Ludviek's nature score. You just sort of come up to the larger tree and give it a cursory look, and it's definitely on the older side, but it's hard to tell how old. It's probably ancient, frankly. But it's,
Without taking a cutting, but it would hurt the tree. Yes.
it doesn't necessarily look like a type of tree you're familiar with, though. Like, it's a very different species of tree. Like, it follows all the same general footfalls and conventions of a tree, bark and then a wide canopy with beautiful full green leaves, but just something about the way the bark sort of turns and twists and the way the canopy sort of fans out to sort of filter in the light through the skylight is different, distinct and unique, and just some way
Does
you
it have
haven't
leaves?
seen before. It does have leaves, yes. This tree is alive, very much so.
Then Ludviek would like to just pluck one of the best-looking leaves, at least like the full amount, and he gives that to Minnove, and is like,
The tree is very, very, very high up. Like, I need to make sure I'm emphasizing this. The roofs in this place are very, very high. This tree itself, like, before you can get to any of the leaves, is like, it's the scale isn't fully communicated here because I wanted to make sure you could actually see the fucking floor. But like, the canopy of this tree is like 30 feet up off the ground and covers most of the roof, which is higher still than that.
ah.
Yeah, like, I couldn't really communicate that on this map without completely covering the entire floor plan of this space, which would be counterintuitive to navigation.
All right. Well, then the answer is simple. He climbs the tree.
All right. We'll make that an athletics check from you.
What are you doing?
Minnove's gonna get a little closer.
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Nope. You try to climb and it doesn't really work. You get up a bit, fall on your butt. It's discouraging.
What are you doing?
Trying to do.
Trying to get leaf of 3 seems quite unique. Would be good for your book and especially for the report. But cannot find grip at all. It's like there's no way to grip on this bark. Very strange.
Well, yeah, and Minnove's gonna try and climb the tree.
You have mage hand.
Jeez.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
As much as I do love a good sequence of people failing to climb an object, like struggling to open a fucking door, I am going to remind you, you do have ways of solving this problem that your character would know and be inclined to use. So
Minnove's about to climb it, and then she's like, wait, hold on a second. I have an inkling. Wait. And then she just reaches her hand up, and then one of the leaves nicely flick off and fall into her hand.
Ari, who is standing next to her, is going to go, oh, you finally using that brain of yours. And when he says that, he's going to do tap, tap, tap on the top of her head.
Ooh.
Kari is rude.
Excuse you. Hey. It's not like it's a one-way street.
I know.
No, it's not.
But still.
I'd say he's been a lot more polite than Minnove has been over the course of this whole game.
Sorry, I take offense to that. I was using my brain. The problem is the other part not working too well at this point.
I was talking to Minnove.
Yeah, he was talking to me. Don't worry, you're fine.
No, don't worry, Ludviek. You used your tools to the best of your ability.
Well, I could actually use hammer on 3, but I do not think that'd be a good idea.
If you use the hammer on that tree, I will use the hammer on your knees.
He has become the Lorax.
Kari speaks for the trees. Minnove will just kind of brush off that that comment in the sense of if she can dish it, she can take it, and then is taking on more of the scenic, sketching it out onto the book, kind of trying to make it as detailed as she can.
All right. There's a lot to see in here for sure, so you're going to be taking notes and sketches for a while. Kari, you've been trying to do something with this tree for a while and kept getting sidetracked. What are you doing?
I think so. This is definitely. I feel like this is a simple enough thing. Do I need to roll to see if this is the same kind of tree as outside, or is that just immediately apparent?
It's immediately apparent. A lot this forest does have coniferous trees, but a lot of it is evergreen. This, you've never seen a tree like this before. It's identifiably very much a tree. It's almost like someone took an oak and scaled it up a bunch, but it's more slender.
Do you think that the entire biological ecosystem here has changed so completely that this tree is no longer belongs where it was made, or do you think it was brought here?
It looks very intentionally placed here.
Fascinating.
Could also be an extinct breed of tree as well. That's always possible.
Is there a stick on the ground from the tree?
Yes, there is a few.
He's going to pick up a stick from the tree and put it in his bag.
You have a stick. Congratulations.
All right. I'm going to put tall tree stick in my inventory.
All right.
Good news, you can use that to defeat a Dark Lord. Just pull it out. Use it to block his shots.
He's pulling out a stick!
And then he's actually going to start off in the corner over here, just looking around.
All right. It's... You don't see any signs of, like, any cutlery or silverware or anything that might have been on these tables. Most of them are barely holding together with creeping mold and bits of rot here and there. Whoever made this place, they evidently built it to last, overgrown as it is with moss and lichen and ivy and all those things. But even so, like, the worst of the water damage that might have leveled a lot of these things fairly quickly seems to have been contained to more of the extremities rather than this innermost chamber. So a lot of these bits of furniture, while clearly damaged and would not survive you sitting in them, at the very least stand for the moment. At least not counting those that have been completely subsumed by roots. Those are just fucked.
By the way, these furnitures and these chairs, these tables and chairs, yeah, they're rotted. But how big are they? Are they like meant for people of our size, or are they meant for someone who might be bigger?
They look to be for someone about your size.
Okay.
Yeah, these are like standard.
Kari has a theory he's developing here.
Oh. Okay.
And that's it.
All right.
All right.
Actually, Minnove, can you come over here for a moment?
Of course. What's up?
He's going to point to one of the chairs and say, could you, the spell that, you cast to help clean my shirt, could you cast it on one of these, chairs over here? I want to see what happens.
Oh, all right. I guess I could.
All right, so using prestidigitation on one of the chairs, the mold starts to clear away. Bits of like mud or dirt or other bits of a decomposition that had fallen through the skylight over time clear away. It's an old thing. But it holds.
Interesting. I guess now that it's like clean and he's just looking at it. Okay. Oh, hopefully we can find someone that knows how to stitch things back together magically.
Can sometimes stitch things back together non-magically as well.
I believe they call that carpentry.
Yeah, I'm a carpenter.
Oh, well then.
Well, let's look at it.
Okay.
Might you be able to determine? You might be able to determine is it the same wood as do you know what type? Perhaps it is from this type of tree as well.
It'd be kind of fucked if it was. It'd be like having a dinner table made of your organs while you're just hanging there.
The tree does not mind.
Minnove, your imagination astounds me.
All right, Boron, you're examining the chairs to see if you can figure out what they're made of. Like, obviously wood, but like narrowing it down.
Yeah, I would like to know what wood.
Okay. Make an investigation check?
Would he have advantage as a carpenter?
I mean, if one wants to help him, they can give him advantage.
Alright, but Kari would definitely be helping then.
Alright.
Not thinking that will make much sense, but okay.
Would you like me to do an investigation check?
No.
Alright, 13. It's hard to kind of parse, even with this, cleaned up chair. Because, like, it's clean, but, like, it's partially eroded away, so it's hard to clock what type of wood it is. It might be from the same type of tree as the big one in the middle, but it's hard to be sure.
Okay.
Well,
You can tell a lot by
Also, I'm gonna take a very small stick from that's obviously from the tree in the middle.
All right.
And I'm gonna hold it up to the flame of our lantern and light it up a little bit and see if it smells in a certain way.
Okay, interesting. So you catch a bit of flame onto the end of this particular stick. Give it a few little whiffs as it starts crackling, the flame starts spreading. It definitely carries a scent. It kind of smells like if an oak tree and a pine tree had an extremely passionate love child.
Okay.
So it's pungent, it's sharp, it's strong, but it's a very deep and earthy smell at the same time, like deep buried sap. Pleasant,
So
almost.
could be like incense almost.
It can maybe fulfill that purpose. Not in this state, but it could maybe serve that purpose if treated a bit. Rubbed it down with something floral, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how incense works.
It's close enough.
I think the last thing I'm going to say here is I guess he's just going to go around to see if there is anything like a cutlery.
All right. I won't necessitate a roll for this, just like the things you want to look for, I'll generally help. If it's particularly obscure or plot relevant, it might require a roll, but otherwise it's just to save time and not flood the chat with meaningless rolls. Looking around for signs of cutlery or silverware or anything like that, you're not really seeing anything like that. You get the impression like it's like you can hear birdsong occasionally chirruping into this space through the skylight overhead, and again, that skylight is clearly built to be part of this structure, perhaps to let the tree that's grown here get natural light and rainfall. You do see that there's sort of like a circle of long now broken up stones that the roots have penetrated through that sort of encircled what looked to be a very rich patch of soil that this tree was once growing out of, so a place for the rainfall to just drizzle down and feed the tree. So
this tree has long outgrown its confines.
Certainly. So it's very possible that whatever might have been in here that's on the smaller side, cutlery, silverware, what have you, if it was shiny or in any way useful, probably was absconded with by birds or other things that might need to make little constructions. Hell, beavers could have taken some of the spoons for nests. Or dams, rather. So it's been a long time, so a lot of the smaller things would have been taken by creatures that might have had use for them. And if any of it was shiny, well, corvids would have made off with a lot of it long ago.
He has experience with that.
Apparently.
So it looks like there's a door to the west, which would lead to that hallway that we were in before. Is there another door to the east as well?
Yes, there
And
are
south?
2 doors to the east, in fact, and and another sort of archway to the south.
No.
Where do you all want to explore next?
Tuki, you've got a good hunch for these things. Where do you think?
I'm not really sure about next.
I actually should be going here to bed in a minute.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We may not technically have a time limit anymore, but it is still late for a lot of us, so...
Yeah, no, it's just more, I'm just starting trading for something that I have to just be read a lot earlier for a bit.
I understand. It's all good.
Yeah.
All right. With that in mind, then, I guess we could probably... let's let Tuki finish voicing her thought before we call it, though.
Yeah, I didn't mean to, interrupt. I was just letting you know before things went too much further.
It's fine. I don't know. I think that I would maintain that we do what I mentioned earlier. where we just kind of pick a starting point and clear everything. So check out this door, see what's over here.
All right.
All right.
So I'll go ahead and
Stack up.
All right. So stepping up to this door in the corner here, you put a hand to it, push it open, and to those of you with a good sense of smell, that being Ludviek and Minnove, a long, stagnant stink hits you almost instantly as the door swings open. Almost like as if something pumped a fetid odor into this room long ago, and then it never had a proper chance to air out, and you are just hit by the stale, rotting, festering odor. Minnove in particular kind of makes your eyes water, but the room itself is fairly small. You see sort of lining the wall to the south a series of sort of wood and stone shelves sort of intermittently mingling with what look to be old clay and ceramic jars and containers and vases sort of covering the contents. You see the sort of what might have once been like a grill sort of set into the floor in the very center. To the north side, you see another one of those barely holding on wooden tables with actually like a handful of what look to be cooking implements settled on it. And a door at the far side. You have found the kitchen.
Huzzah!
It fucking. Oh, I'm gonna stay out here. Oh.
Fair enough.
Ludviek is gonna.
She says that.
Ludviek is gonna keep the door propped open, but he's gonna brave his nose. He's gonna try and just plug his nose and just like he wants to see more in here. Mostly, all right. We're probably gonna leave it off here, but I know what I'm gonna do next time.
If you want to check one more door, we can. I can tell you right now, none of the immediate doors lead to anything big enough to consume a bunch of time.
Actually, no. I wanted to have him examine the jars and whatnot, and specifically, well, first I wanted to see if he could see if any of these things is like perchance like anything that's been preserved long enough. Maybe alcohol would probably be the one thing. Though some of it, if it's wine, it may have turned to vinegar. Obviously, anything that's preservative would have been rotted.
All right. So we'll do this real quick then, and then probably call it after that. So you start scouring these shelves, the jars and the pots and the containers, sort of gently taking
to help him narrow it down, I'd like to go to my spells, and it should be in there. Detect poison and disease should be one of the things I have active, and I'd like to use that in my investigation of these materials. Perhaps there is something here that could help determine. That should cut down a lot of the bad stuff, but it might also help determine what maybe their diet was or something.
All right. Using Detect Poison and Disease. For the duration, you can sense the presence and location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet of you. You can also identify the kind of poison, poisonous creature, or disease in each case. So, with that in mind, you basically get everything that's in this room, and it is... Basically everything in here is long decomposed to the point that it's basically just like a stain of black mush at the bottom of any of these given jars. Bugs and other things would have made off with most of it long ago. It's just the stink that's remained because the doors have been shut for a long time.
Okay,
So
everything is gone. Not even vinegar or alcohol remaining. All right, darn.
If ever there was anything like that,
honey.
it probably went away a long time ago. But
Maybe honey, since that can not go bad, basically.
you know what? Yeah, that's a good point. Let me see here. I'll say sure, you do find one jar that has some honey in it.
It's got to be heavily crystallized at this point.
Oh, yeah, it's basically just a rock. But it's identifiable as honey, so it's like, huh.
Ludviek pockets that, and coupled with that fish, that water drake meat from earlier, from last time, he gets an idea.
That is going to be an interesting meal. A block of crystalline honey and alligator meat, essentially.
Well,
Oh,
crystalline honey can be turned back into normal honey with a little bit of heat.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's a weird combination.
Okay.
you're forgetting. It may be a block of crystal, but there's this lovely thing called a hammer that can break up crystal.
Fair, and also Sepia's trying to say something.
Oh,
I was just gonna ask if any of the utensils look different from modern utensils.
ooh.
Walking up to one of them, you see what was probably like a butchery knife of some description. You know, used for chopping up vegetables or meats or what have you, is what you would guess. The blade is long since just converted into rust, brittle into aging. But looking at it, there is a distinct sort of difference. You notice that the handle is somewhat larger than you might expect to find on, say, a human's butcher knife or a dwarf's butcher knife, but not necessarily much thicker. Like, it's slightly longer, as if to facilitate larger but not necessarily meaty hands. But not by a lot, just enough to be noticeable.
Do you think any of this could be Aryan?
Do not know much of Orion myself.
And this is not like any sort of Orient architecture I've ever heard of.
I mean, for one thing, the doors are too short. Orions had a habit of standing like 8 to 10 feet tall and had 4 arms, so these doors are too small for them.
Yes, everything about this place is entirely antithetical to Orient civilization. No, this is a very different sort of ancient.
I think this is the first ruin I've ever explored, so worth asking.
It's not a silly question. It's just this is something entirely new, at least to myself.
Could it possibly be just a crazy idea, but could it possibly be dwarven?
No. I don't think this is dwarven.
Boron, I'll go
Yes.
ahead and say that, Boron, you would absolutely know none of this screams dwarven to you. For one thing, even dwarven architecture that was like handmade by dwarves, instead of just inhabiting old Orient undercities after they stopped, checking in on their slaves a long ass time ago, we're very blocky out of necessity. This doesn't feel like that. There's an intelligent pragmatism to the construction here, but it's accented very much with a very artistic streak. Everything about this place is not just about pragmatism, but about a degree of comfort and artistic awe, at least so far.
And the ceilings are really tall.
The ceilings are really, really high, but the doors are like normal person height.
Do you think it's worth taking anyway, or should I just leave it behind?
I think anything that isn't nailed down is important for archaeological study.
Yeah, but they asked us not to touch anything too much unless it seems very important.
I suppose we just leave that then, and if there's nothing else of too much import, then I suppose we come back for the utensils.
Ludviek makes a note to save some of the honey, because I'm pretty sure the archaeologist will want to have old foodstuffs to check.
Absolutely.
All right.
No. So then, I guess Kari is just going to say, I think maybe that's... This is more to himself. He's like, I think that statue might have been a more accurate depiction of the denizens here than mythical.
Let's say this room is searched.
Indeed.
Yep.
All right. So, with that, I think what we'll do is we'll say, for the sake of it, that before your group does any further scouring and searching, you elect to pause a little bit to ruminate on the already a rather impressive collection of oddities and strange things in these ruins you've stumbled on, and just take a bit, have some lunch, and ruminate on them before you explore deeper. So I'll park the group sort of middle to just nibble and chat as they
Can we please shut the door?
I got it.
Yeah, all right. And we will return to this next time, ideally starting at our proper time, but that way we can go for longer. But regardless, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, so much for joining us for this session of Ringlight Fables. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourselves and keep listening. Bye-bye.
And always respect archaeological sites.
Yes.